Welcome to Mind Shield. We protect the mind and pursue the truth. Let's get started.
Let's just get right into it. If your case is real, you need privacy like you need oxygen. So today, we're breaking down how you can pursue the truth without handing your enemies a map to your life. We're talking about practical operational security, or what's known as OPSEC.
This quote, it really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Privacy and careful documentation, they're not about hiding in fear. No, they're about taking control. It's about turning a story into a dossier and building something that people in charge can't just wave away.
So what is OPEC really? It's simply a set of practices to protect your sensitive info. Think of it like this. You're denying potential adversaries the little puzzle pieces they need to see the full picture of your life and cause you harm. Okay, so here's our playbook for today. First, we're going to talk about why OPSEC is so critical. Then, we'll get into a really practical way to manage your identity using 3 different layers. After that, we'll dig into the hidden data traps you really need to watch out for, and we'll wrap it all up with clear rules for communicating and sharing information safely. So let's start with the stakes because they are high. We know that risks can escalate, incredibly quickly with oversharing. Some survivors even report that targeted intimidation gets amplified by personal data leakage, which can turn a really difficult situation into a truly dangerous one. So the bottom line here is that keeping your information in separate boxes and being disciplined about what you share, well, it does more than just lower your risk. It actually improves the integrity of your evidence, which makes your case that much stronger and way more credible. All right, let's talk strategy. The core concept here is compartmentalization. It's basically about building firewalls in your life. And thinking about your identity in different layers, it's absolutely key to managing how your information flows and ultimately protecting yourself. So let's break this down. First, you've got your public identity. This is for your everyday life, friends, work, family. You need a complete firewall between this and any of your investigative work. Then there's your community identity. This lets you engage with support networks and other people safely, using an alias. And finally, you have your investigator identity. That's your real name, and it's protected and used only for official stuff, on a strict need-to-know basis. And look, the goal here is pretty simple, but it is absolutely non-negotiable. This separation stops your personal life, your job, your family, where you like to get coffee, from being used against you. At the same time, it protects the credibility of the evidence you're working so hard to gather. Now, let's talk about the invisible risks. We're not just talking about what's in your photos or your messages. We're talking about the digital trail of data that travels with every single thing you do online. And this is the stuff that can betray you without you even realizing it. So what exactly is this hidden information? You might be shocked by just how much it can reveal about you. In fact, a lot of the time, it's even more revealing than the content itself. This is probably the best way to think about it. Metadata is everything about your communication, not the communication itself. It's the digital trail. It's your patterns, your relationships, your location, your schedule. It's the envelope, not the letter inside. Now, this quote, it's not here for shock value. It's here to show you the incredible power of metadata. Just the patterns of communication alone, who you call, when, for how long, from where, can paint a picture so detailed that intelligence agencies can make life or death decisions with it. That's how powerful this data is. So you've got to be aware of these common traps. Photos you take on your phone can have GPS data baked right in. Documents you share can have your name and computer info hidden in the file properties. Even the way you name a file, like notes from my call with the FBI.docx, well, that can leak some seriously sensitive context. Okay, so now that we get the risks of metadata, let's get practical. Let's build on that by setting up some rules for safer communication. Think of these as your new rules of engagement. These rules are your first line of defense. Always ask yourself, does this person need to know this? Use apps like Signal that encrypts not just your messages, but also a lot of that pesky metadata. And this is a big one. Avoid making emotional, in-the-moment decisions, like live streaming during a really stressful event. Stay calm and stay focused. So here's the big mindset shift you need to make. Just assume that every single text, every email, every post could one day be read by a lawyer or a journalist, or worse, an adversary. That level of disciplined, thoughtful communication is a core part of building a credible case that can't be torn apart. All right, the final piece of the puzzle. When you absolutely have to share evidence with a lawyer, a journalist, law enforcement, how do you do it without opening up new ways for you to get hurt? Simple. You follow a strict, unbending protocol. And this protocol is non-negotiable. Your original files are sacred. You never touch them, you never share them. You only work from copies. And from those copies, you remove, or what's called redact, any sensitive info. And you keep a detailed log of every single thing you share. And there's a really important reason we do all this. In any kind of legal setting, the chain of custody is everything. It's the paper trail that proves your evidence is the real deal and that it hasn't been messed with. This process is what transforms individual stories into a solid pattern backed up by verifiable artifacts. And that is essential for any official proceeding. So, you've just learned the fundamentals of OPSEC for protecting yourself and your evidence. But a lot of the time, the next step is finding other people to show a pattern of behavior. So the question is, how do you do that safely? Well, we're going to explore the world of corroboration networks in our next explainer.